So, did Meghan Markle just wreck her own comeback in under 30 seconds? Because that's what it looks like. One video. A short, blurry, supposedly innocent clip of Meghan dancing in a hospital room. That's all it took to turn the internet upside down and spark a massive backlash that's now dragging Netflix into the fire with her. What was meant to be empowering is now being memed, mocked, dissected, and absolutely roasted across every corner of social media. But here's the thing. This goes way deeper than a cringy dance. This video may have just exposed something much bigger. The disconnect between Meghan's self-image and how the public actually sees her. And when you dig into what happened behind the scenes, things get a lot messier. Let's break it all down. It all started when Meghan posted a short video to her personal Instagram account. No warning, no caption, just vibes. It shows her in what appears to be a hospital room. Heavily pregnant, wearing a loose robe, bouncing. Around to a loud rap song, throwing in some awkward twerks and air gestures. Prince Harry is in the background, barely visible, turned away from the camera like a character you're not supposed to recognize yet. The lighting is sterile. The setting is clinical. The energy? Off. She's dancing, or at least trying to, and the whole thing feels uncomfortable. Not because she's pregnant or expressive, but because nothing about it reads as genuine. The camera's propped up. She's performing. And people immediately started asking, what even is this? The internet didn't wait long to answer. At first, Meghan tried to brush it off. According to her, the video was an old memory, recorded 4 years ago, back when she was pregnant with Archie. But nobody bought it. And the internet did what it does best: investigate. Frame by frame, people noticed things. A new tattoo barely peeking out from under her sleeve that she supposedly got just last year. A hospital IV pole design that wasn't even in use until 2022. And the song playing in the background? It only went viral a few months ago. Fans turned detectives overnight, comparing wall paint, hospital tech, lighting color temperature, even the shadow angles. And the number one clue that raised eyebrows? Harry's face being deliberately hidden. Not blurred, not cropped, just turned away. Coincidence? Maybe. Or maybe, just maybe, Meghan didn't want people to figure out when this was actually filmed. But instead of clearing things up, Meghan doubled down. She released a statement claiming the video was a message to her critics. A visual metaphor for motherhood, power, femininity, and self-expression. She said it was about owning her truth, being fearless, refusing to be silenced. That might sound empowering, but it didn't land that way. Instead, it felt performative, like another episode in Meghan's long-running pattern of turning valid public critique into personal attacks. If you didn't like the video, you were either jealous, unhealed, or threatened by a strong woman. And that tone, that defensiveness, it rubbed people the wrong way. Again, behind closed doors, things were even more chaotic. Sources say Meghan's team at Netflix had no idea the video was going to be posted. None. The executives, including Ted Sarandos and Greg Peters, reportedly found out the same way we all did, by watching it online. And they were not amused. Internally, Netflix was already walking on eggshells. Meghan's docuseries With Love Meghan had received lukewarm reactions, praised by some, mocked by others. But this threw gasoline on the fire. Executives allegedly reached out immediately and asked her to take the video down. She refused, flat out. She reportedly saw the backlash as a necessary conversation. Netflix saw it as a PR nightmare. And now, the ripple effects are everywhere. Production on With Love Meghan. Part 2 has been delayed. Scenes are being rewritten. Entire segments are under review, especially anything filmed in a hospital setting. No one wants to touch it. It's radioactive. One source said, "We're not just rebranding the show, we're damage controlling it." It's not just that people didn't like the video. It's that the video now defines the project. What was meant to be a heartwarming look at motherhood and identity has become a meme-fueled meltdown. And all of this, mind you, is happening while Netflix is still dealing with falling stock prices, declining trust, and a string of underperforming originals. Meghan was supposed to help turn that around, a global name with emotional appeal. Instead, she's become the latest controversy. And what's fascinating is how quickly public perception turned. There was a time, not long ago, when Meghan was viewed as a modern icon of change. She had broken away from royal tradition, called out toxic tabloid culture, and opened up about her struggles. She was embraced, even admired for a while. But somewhere along the way, the tone shifted. People began to feel like she wasn't just telling her story. She was selling it, monetizing her struggles, curating her pain. And this latest video felt like the final straw. A highly staged, oddly tone-deaf attempt at relatability that backfired spectacularly. It wasn't vulnerability, it was spectacle. Meanwhile, Meghan's ambitions haven't slowed down. She's been teasing the return of her podcast, with reports claiming she wants to focus more on parenting, identity, and emotional truth. Insiders say she believes her voice is more essential than ever, especially in the wake of the video, Backlash. But the question remains, who's actually asking for that? When the public is reacting with confusion and mockery, doubling down on the same themes that triggered the backlash might not be the power move she thinks it is. Still, according to her team, the podcast is moving forward, possibly rebranded, with an emphasis on healing and feminine leadership. Only time will tell if it lands. And then there's Netflix, quietly reevaluating the partnership. Executives are reportedly in strategy mode, weighing how to handle this storm. Some want to scale her visibility down. Others suggest shifting focus to safer, more broadly appealing content. A few, more quietly, are asking whether this deal is still worth it at all. What was once seen as a win-win collaboration is now looking like a high-stakes gamble that isn't paying off. The brand's tolerance for drama is wearing thin, and Meghan's ability to control the narrative, it's slipping fast. But let's talk about the reaction, not just from the public, but from the media and Meghan's diehard fans. Mainstream outlets were divided. Some refused to touch the story entirely, brushing it off as an unfair pile-on. Others took a more cautious tone, emphasizing Meghan's right to self-expression while quietly acknowledging the awkward optics. A few even tried to spin it, suggesting that the backlash itself was proof of society's discomfort with confident women. But online, that's where the real story was. Comment sections became war zones. On one side, people were cracking jokes, comparing the dance to everything from a horror movie to a TikTok filter glitch. On the other, Meghan's supporters were going full defense mode, accusing critics of misogyny, racism, and projecting their unhealed trauma onto a strong woman. This wasn't just a backlash, it was a culture clash. And that's what makes the whole thing so hard to ignore. It wasn't just about a video. It was about what that video represented. For critics, it was another example of Meghan Markle being completely out of touch. For fans, it was a bold act of self-love and defiance. And for everyone in between, it was exhausting. Now, take a step back and look at the bigger picture. Meghan Markle's brand, the one she spent the last few years building, has always been about control. Controlling the narrative, controlling the message, controlling how she's seen. From her Oprah interview to her curated Netflix projects, to every carefully chosen quote in the press, she's positioned herself as both the hero and the victim in her story. But with this video, something cracked. It wasn't just that the content was cringeworthy, it was that it felt dishonest. Not in a factual sense, but in a vibe sense. Like someone trying to go viral with a message they don't fully believe in themselves. There was no spontaneity, no vulnerability. Just a weird, curated moment that screamed, "Look at me," while insisting, "Don't judge me." And that contradiction is what's fueling the backlash. Because if there's one thing audiences can sense instantly, it's when someone's trying too hard to be authentic. True authenticity doesn't need to announce itself. It just is. And right now, Meghan's whole presence online feels like it's shouting, "I'm real," from behind a velvet curtain. And the thing is, this isn't just bad for Meghan. It's bad for Netflix, too. Think about their position. They've poured millions into talent deals, betting big on celebrity storytelling. From Harry and Meghan to other famous faces, the goal was clear: connect emotion to entertainment. But the ROI hasn't quite delivered. The royal docuseries underperformed long-term. Her podcast deal with Spotify pulled. Now the follow-up show is in PR hell before it even hits the platform. There are even reports that some Netflix board members are beginning to ask tougher questions. Not just about Meghan, but about the strategy itself. Are these talent-first deals really worth it if they keep turning into PR nightmares? The reality is, Netflix wanted Meghan to be their image rehab, a fresh voice, a clean start. But what they got instead was a whole new fire to put out. One that didn't come from tabloid lies or unfair treatment, but from Meghan's own Instagram account. It's like she walked into a room full of candles holding a flamethrower and then acted shocked when the curtains caught fire. And still, even now, Meghan doesn't seem to understand why people are upset. She's made it clear in multiple statements that she views the backlash as proof that the message hit a nerve. That's how she's spinning this. Not as a misstep, but as evidence of cultural impact. But here's the thing, not all noise is impact. Sometimes people are talking because something's meaningful. Other times, they're talking because something is absurd. And right now, the conversation isn't about motherhood, identity, or feminine power. It's about how bizarre and disconnected this whole episode feels. The video didn't start a movement. It started a meme. Still, maybe that's the point. Maybe Meghan doesn't care whether the attention is good or bad, as long as it keeps coming. Maybe the real goal isn't to heal society or inspire moms or redefine parenting. Maybe it's just to stay relevant, because, let's be honest, in the attention economy, controversy sells, but it's a short-term currency. The more you use it, the less value it has. Eventually, audiences stop engaging. They don't rage, they just scroll past. And once that happens, it's game over. Which brings us to the final question. Where does this go from here? Will Meghan post another video? Will she address the backlash in her next podcast episode? Will Netflix quietly pull back or go all in with a risky rebrand? Right. Now, anything's possible, but here's what we do know. The public's patience is running out. The media has seen this play before. Fans are getting harder to rally. And Meghan, for all her influence and fame, is finding herself in a strange new position. Not silenced, but ignored. And in today's world, that might be the harshest backlash of all. As it stands, the video remains online. The backlash is still unfolding. Netflix is still calculating the damage, and Meghan Markle, she's still in the spotlight, still dancing, still talking, still insisting that she's the hero of this story. But for the first time in a long time, fewer people are clapping.